Hi, everyone. I'm Henry DeVries. Welcome to Agency Rainmaker TV. This is the TV show where we help agency owners make it rain, bring in more revenue. More important, bring in more right fit clients. And that's what it's all about. We've got agency owner Corey Morris with us today, an author, runs Voltage out of Kansas City. Corey, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent now that I'm talking to you. Why don't you tell everybody who Voltage serves?
Yeah, so Voltage is a digital agency. We're narrowly focused on search marketing and websites. And so through that, we serve a wide range of industries, but we settle into a lot of areas where the client needs digital marketing ROI in their business. And so in many cases, that's professional services firms or lead generation, thought leadership, some e-commerce as well. And I don't want to forget the fact that probably about 40% of what we do is partnering with other agencies as well.
You're part of that agency service ecosystem, and we're glad to have you in it too. And Corey, very excited you're coming out to UC San Diego this week, and you're going to speak at the Agency Rainmaker Forum for us. Thank you so much for making the trip. Why don't we cover what you do for people and I think your new book, if you could tell people about your new book, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. Looking forward to sharing about the start planning process, my 5-step framework, which we can get into in a bit. But my book is the Digital Marketing Success Plan, and it's where I unpack that framework. I freely give away to whether it's to competitors or to prospects or clients alike. That 5-step process that my team at Voltage works through when we are delivering that process and walking clients through it in 30 60, 90 days. But at the same time, the book is an opportunity to give it away in a transparent way and make it approachable and not just this big acronym filled process of technical things that you can't get through in a concise way or in a complete way. So it's in the $10 or $20 version to put out there in everyone's hands to be able to self-implement this or fill gaps in your existing process, to help you be able to gear your marketing plan toward ROI and not just be a set of tactics.
Corey, may I pay you a compliment?
Sure.
Who says no to that? The compliment is I was very proud to be an editor and publisher of your book, and we didn't have to convince you about the soundness of giving away your secret sauce. Here's how we do it. Um, and freely share that knowledge because the more people you share it with, the more who will hire you for the specifics. That gets into our how do you make it rain question and talk about the book and publishing and speaking, all the things you do. And I know you have some big blunders that you cover when you talk to other agency owners.
Yeah. So naturally, while it might, if I ever speak with passion about the topics and ideas here, I don't want that to come across as the fact that I'm perfect or have it all figured out. Pretty much every learning in this is something that I've had to learn the hard way or the stubborn way, in my agency career and or in my agency ownership journey. And so, yeah, so three blunders. These are all touched on in the book and used as reference points. Some of them more painful than others, but the first one is business metrics trump SEO metrics. I was an SEO to start my career before I got more into broad digital strategy and marketing overall. But this was a big one for me to learn the hard way, and there's a whole story in the book and more to go into. But I'll just say that if you're reporting as an agency or even an in-house team or just a marketing consultant reporting on the average position or impressions or clicks, um, you're reporting on things that don't give a complete picture and make you put yourself at risk with the client of not understanding the full value of what you're delivering, and ultimately putting yourself in territory where a CFO or somebody writing a check can look at you as an expensive line item that's easy to cut without understanding that it's an investment with an expectation of return on investment. So even conversions are not the complete picture. So the marketing KPIs and things that are out there are not, your end game and your end result. Mapping out your marketing KPIs all the way through to whatever the most meaningful business outcome seems simple, but we all know how messy it is when you go from being a marketer now to someone who's almost acting like a business consultant, getting into someone else's business to understand how they make money and help them connect those dots if they don't already have them connected. So that's number one, is making is if you're not going deep enough in terms of the metrics and what you're tracking. Number two is that Google will happily take your money even if your ads are losing money. I say this a lot, knowing that maybe someday I get on Google's radar and somebody wants to come slap me down. But I say this as a Google partner agency. We're in their partnering program doing Google ads. And one of the things that we see all the time are the automated recommendations coming our way through their AI to get you to spend more money or to improve your ads, as well as getting, their reps or their third party reps, contracted reps calling you, trying to get you to add more things to your account to go spend more. Well, those all add to Google's bottom line, whether you're making money or there's meaningful ROI or not. And so understanding that and not just blindly handing over your budget to them or implementing things that may or may not connect back to your strategy and your plan are important. And then the third one, this one's the fun one to talk about. It's don't get fired like I have been, even when things are working. And this connects back to the first one, but is more personal because I've had clients where all the graphs are up and to the right, or everything is green and all the KPIs look good. And then all of a sudden, I get that surprise cancellation because, again, I didn't go deep enough into their business to help them understand their politics. I'm not saying we need to be politicians here in other people's corporate politics, but understand where there's a hangup or how much visibility we have to the C-suite or to the decision makers or to those that may have a different vision of what the strategy should be versus what our day-to-day contacts as on the between the agency and the client relationship are driving us toward. And so that's probably bigger than digital marketing, an age-old agency versus brand challenge. But don't lose sight of that, even when you feel like you're working in the weeds with someone who's nerding out with you on that same level, that everybody gets it or cares, or that the activity you're doing is technically aligned with the corporate goals all the way up at a conceptual level as well.
Oh, I hear you. As a recovering agency president, I've been fired when things were going right. And I've also interviewed the CEO about what really matters to them. And I was trying to make all this linkage to website traffic and publicity and retail sales. And he told me what really mattered to him was morale. And every time we had one of these great stories appear in a national magazine or the Wall Street Journal, um, it got his people excited and more energized, and that was more important to him. So unless you ask these questions, unless you have those conversations, you never really know what's going on inside the hearts and minds in that client. Uh, Corey, this is also great. We're about running out of time. Is there any last thing you'd like to add?
Well, and I would just say, to add on to that point you just made, it's almost like, you get introduced to someone and you have a 10-minute conversation with them at a party and you forgot their name. It's like sometimes you get into those situations where you didn't ask and you just jumped into doing the work and everybody's excited about it. It's with good motives, but it still can go wrong if you didn't stop and ask those questions or get to some fundamental things. Or you're a new employee in a marketing team and you inherited a set of tactics, content calendars, SEO checklists. The longer you just dive in and do it and don't challenge it or take a step back and revisit what the ultimate goal and plan is, the more opportunity you have to get just more degrees off down the road of the what and why you're doing something and not having conviction in it.
So true. Corey, thanks again for coming back and spending time with us. We really appreciate you, and we really appreciate your, oh, I don't know, teamwork, partnership, relationship. You're a special person. We appreciate you. Well,
Well,
that's all
thank
the time we have for this week, and Until next time, make it rain.